Kumar Singh, working as a system analyst in RBS Consultancy Services in India. My project is Cloud Service Architecture for Education System. Here is my proposed methodology. First of all, I will define what are the cloud services. As we all know, cloud has three service models known as IaaS, PaaS and SaaS. IaaS stands for Infrastructure as a Service, PaaS stands for Platform as a Service, and SaaS stands for Software as a Service. Then you will see there is a cloud architecture written in that the blocks. I have taken the cloud architecture which are previously defined. Then I have made a proposed model by the help of three entities named as class diagram, sequence diagram and object diagrams. Then I have verified it by the help of context-free language and context-free grammar known as the formal specification. And after that I have validated it by the help of ArcJava, which is known as the architecture descriptive language that will be used as a programming language or as a software system. First of all, here I will discuss what is cloud. Cloud is known as a metaphor of internet. As we all know, cloud is not a set of new technologies. Cloud is just a delivery model for the infrastructure resources, services and technologies which are previously included by the cloud service provider. Basically, cloud is used to describe the network that incorporate various technologies without the user knowing it. Second one, what are the cloud services? As I have previously introduced you three types of service models of the cloud known as IaaS, PaaS and SaaS. First I will discuss what is IaaS. It is also known as Infrastructure as a Service. This provides the virtualization over the data centers which consists of hardware and software. Second one is the Platform as a Service. Platform as a Service refers to providing the platform layer resources including the OS, support and software development framework. Platform as a Service provides the platform to the end users to develop their own application, deployment and testing. Third is included here the SaaS, known as the Software as a Service. Software as a Service, here in the cloud, software is provided to the end user so that they have saved themselves from the trouble of the software maintenance and deployment. Here I included a model corresponding to the education system. That is the basic data centers, which are the combination of hardware and the software. Here is the education data centers. This is providing here, the cloud is providing as an infrastructure as a service. Second one is education resources, which is providing as a platform as a service. Third one I included the education softwares, which are where the software are provided as a service, and they are the education application which are used by the end users. They are known as the students and the teachers. Third one I have included what is service oriented architecture. As cloud provides all the things, all the softwares, platform and infrastructure as a service, so I defined what is service oriented architecture. Service oriented architecture is a design pattern which is composed of reusable distributed set of services. Service oriented architecture basic consists of three types of entities, named as first one service broker, second one service provider and third one is service consumer. Here first one, the service broker, which provides the service level agreement between the service providers and service consumer. Second entity, service consumer. Service consumer make the request based upon the requirement and they will directly interact to the service provider if they know the location of the services. Third one, here I included the service provider which bind the resources and also give the response to the service consumers. Here, this is my proposed architecture. The question arises, if I have already declared the model, then why I am going to declare a cloud architecture? The reason is that by the help of cloud model, we will get the overview of the cloud, that how we are going to provide all types of services. But I am including the architecture which tell us about the partitions, logical partitions and the separations of the cloud. Here the local server work as the service broker and PCs work as a consumer or providers, which I have already discussed. There is the education cloud which contains of multiples of servers, and here are the other cloud resource partners which provide the services to the end users. In this proposed architecture, each end user works as a service provider. At that time, it also works as a service consumer. When he is requesting any type of resources to his local server or to the education cloud, he is working as a service consumer. At that time, cloud generates the tagging message to check where these types of resources are provided. If these resources are provided by the help of someone local server or some local PCs, then it sends a request to a local servers, and local servers forwards these requests to the end PCs. This is a sequence diagram. The sequence diagram defines how the working, how our architecture is working, how the user should interact with the cloud. First of all, each user consists of its login ID and password. Login ID and password is basically used for his authentication. Local server sends his session credentials, which also contains the temporary token. The user sends the request resources to the local server. Local server generates a token. Two types of tokens are generated. First one, if a contract is established, then a permanent token is given to the user. If a service contract is not established, then a temporary token is provided to them. After that, if a user is interested, he should send the request to establish the service contract. Local server forward this request to the education resource catalog, which I will discuss later. And education resource catalog forward this request to the cloud, which is also known as a service provider. Cloud provider authorizes the requested. It sends the response to education resource catalog. Education resource catalog then forwards the request to the user. Then after that, the exchange of resources between a PC's local server and a cloud is established. In my proposed methodology, I have discussed that I will verify my architecture with the help of OOT approach. OOT approach, why I am applying the OOT approach? The reason is there that OOT approach defines both the static and the dynamic appearance or requirement of the system. They are basically consist of four things. First one is the use cases, second is the class diagram, third one is the object diagram, and fourth are the sequence diagram, which I have already discussed to you. First one, use cases. Use cases define the requirement of the system. They also define the actions and the actors. Actors are nothing, any entity that interacts with the system known as the actors, just like the service provider, service broker, and service consumer. Class diagram. Class diagram define the static requirements of the system. As we are making the cloud architecture for the education system, so here the education data offered, provider info, consumer info, that are the basic classes. Objects. Object define the attributes and the operations of the system. Fourth one is the sequence diagram. How to and classes will interact, this will be defined by the help of sequence diagram. Sequence diagram basically defines the interaction of the classes. That's my proposed class diagram and object diagram. Control this. First one is the education resource catalog. Education resource catalog are nothing but only the container of education data offered, education data request, and service contract. It contains a variety of information about the service, including the cost of services, service level agreement, and who can use these types of services. Here you can see I will define the class of education resource catalog. Here the education resource catalog ID works as a primary key. Provider info as a service education resource catalog basically defined by the help of provider, so it also contains the provider ID, and the support operation are the container operational list. Operation lists are defined to the end user by the help of set of strings. Second, I will define what are the education data requests. Education data requests are nothing that are basically used by the consumers to request the provisioning and the modification of the education resources. Education data request needs services contract which may be created before or simultaneously with the help of the request. Here is the PNF corresponding to this. First of all, I will discuss what is PNF. PNF is known as the Baker's normal form, which is known as a programming language or which is used as a basic language for any system, because it defines the entities to its lower level by the help of digits or alphabets. Here you will see the class, that is the education data request. Data request is maintained by the help of consumers, so it contains two basic IDs that are known as the basic keys, consumer ID and contract ID, and also the list of supported operations. Third one, here is the education data offered. Education data offered are nothing but they only define which type of data are offered to the end users. Education data offering created by the service developer, which basically contains the service level agreement, cost and billing of the information and other necessary information. Here I introduce the BNF corresponding to this. Each class with its ID has a main ID which is used to represent it in the entire cloud. This is known as the basic key for all the classes. This also contains the provider ID and the contract ID. The provider ID is included here because which types of data are offered to the end user. This is basically defined by the help of providers or service developers. Third here class I have discussed the service contract. As we all know, service contracts are the service level agreement between a user and a provider. Here is the corresponding. The first I have included the contract ID. Contract ID is known as the basic key for the service contract. They contain two keys, the provider ID and the consumer ID. The provider ID also known as the foreign key and consumer ID is also the foreign key. Offering contains of which type of services they are offering. Just here we will see this is service level agreement, billing and other details and description. Here this also contains the three types of function. First is the established relationship after the service contract. Second is the established service contract before the relationship, and third one is the update service contract. If the user is deploying his services, he has to update his service contract. Here the fourth class which I have included is known as the provider info. Provider info, as we all know that the cloud is a service provider, but at the background the user has to provide all types of services. He should check the service level agreement. So the provider info is identified by the help of provider ID, which also contains the name, address and the contact information. The provider basically contains three types of functions. First one is the send response, second one is get response, third one is invoke the resources, and fourth one are the bind the resources. Here the fifth, the class which I have included is consumer info. Consumer info, as we all get the resources by the help of the consumer, so the class here the consumer info, which contains the consumer ID, same as the provider info, name, address, contact information ID. Three types of functions which are included here: the get response, set response and search the response. Here the last class which I have introduced, known as the relationship. Relationship provide the relationship between any service provider and consumer. The relationship is provided on the basis of service contract. As we have known, the relationship are containing the provider info, consumers info, relationship, education data offer, education data request and the service contract. The second thing which I have introduced in my methodology is the context-free language and the context-free grammar. They are nothing but only the formal specification of the languages. They contains of some start symbols, production rules and the earn symbols. Here the class diagram, you can see that all the relationships are going by the help of these relationship classes known as the provider info and consumer info. This shows the association relationship. So this is the context-free grammar for this, known as the provider info and consumer info. Second, I have declared the provider info, which depends upon the service contract. Consumer info also depends upon the service contract. Service contract depends upon the education data offered and education resource catalog. Education data request depends upon the education resource catalog and service contract, which is established. Sixth is the education data offered, which is based upon the education resource catalog, and education resource catalog is a super class which are the container of all the classes. So here we have to go nowhere, so I have included the null production. Architecture description. Architecture description. ArcJava is known as the architecture descriptive language. I have already discussed the ArcJava, that seamlessly unifies the Java by the help of the architecture, which is used as a programming languages. So I will validate my CFL and CFG by the help of ArcJava. Thanks to you. Thanks all of you.